So let me discuss about chained exception. So what is this chained exception? Chained exception is nothing but associating one exception with another exception. In other words, the second exception describes the cause of the first exception. For example, let us assume that we got an exception called arithmetic exception. Now, what is the actual cause of this arithmetic exception? The actual cause of this arithmetic exception is nothing but input output error, right? So, arithmetic exception is your first exception, and what is the second exception is nothing but is your input output error. So, your input output error is the cause of your first exception, right? So now let us see how to write chained exceptions inside our program. So now let me consider a method called test, right? So inside this test method, let me create an exception. So in order to create an exception, I need to create an object of a class. So right now I'm taking an object of a null pointer null pointer exception, right? So I've created an object of a null pointer exception. This null pointer exception I'm trying to store in a variable called e, and the type of this is null pointer exception. So right now what I've done, I have created a first exception, and to this first exception what I need to do, I need to associate second exception. So in order to associate a second exception, Java has provided a method called int cause. Means using this int cause, I can say what is the cause of this first exception, that is null pointer exception. So let us assume the cause of first exception is because of arithmetic exception, right? So that's what I have done. Is it right? I repeat, the first statement describes the first exception, right? Now the second statement says what is the cause of this first exception. The cause of this first exception is nothing but arithmetic exception, right? So once we do that, next what we are going to do, next we need to throw this exception, right? Now let me write main method, public static void main string args, right? Now let me call this test method and let us make this test as static, right? So let me place entire code inside a class called demo. And let me close this class, right? So now as we know that control execution begins from main method. So what this main method is trying to do, the main method is trying to call a test method. So what this test method is trying to do, it has created an exception called null pointer exception, and to this null pointer exception it has associated a second exception called arithmetic exception, and then what it's trying to do, then it's trying to throw the exception. So once it throws the exception will go to the main method. So inside this main method what I should do, I need to handle this exception. So in order to handle this exception, the method test I need to place inside the try and catch block, right? Try catch. So what I need to catch, I need to catch this null pointer exception, right? E, and let me print the exception, right? System dot out dot print ln e, and let me write description exception caught, right? And let me display the cause of this first exception. So what is the cause of this first exception? So in order to print the cause of the first exception, we need to call a method called getCause, which returns the cause of the exception, that is arithmetic exception, right? So I need to write e dot get cause. Is it right? Now let me run the program and check. We'll get the desired output. Miss public. Yeah. Oh, I think C I should write in capital letter, right? Yeah. Let me run again. You see that I am getting the output, right? What's the first exception? It is java.lang.arithmetic exception. And what is the cause of this exception? The cause of this exception is nothing but this arithmetic exception. Now actually let me add a proper interface. So the second one describes the cause, right? Cause. So actually it is printing. Let me run again. You see that? So first it is printing the exception called java.lang.nullPointer exception. And what is the cause of this exception? The cause of this exception is nothing but is java.lang.arithmetic exception, right? But here actually the description is missing. So let me write the description. Let me write description, that is first ex means it is first exception, and for second let me write describe cause of first. Okay, it refers to the description, right? So let me run again. You see that I'm having description, that is colon first ex and colon cause of first, right? So let me summarize. So Java, in order to support chain exception, they have introduced two constructors. So one constructor is taking one argument which is of type throwable, and second constructor is taking two arguments. The first argument is of type string and the second argument is of type throwable. So these two constructors you can find in a class called throwable class. Now these two types of constructor, it means the similar fashion of these constructors is also present inside the class called error, exception and runtime exception classes, right? And not only that, Java, in order to support chain exceptions, they have introduced two methods. One is getCause and the second is intCause. Yes. So using intCause, what we can do? We can associate second exception with first exception, right? And similarly, using getCause, what we can do? We can get the cause of first exceptions, right? So that's what we have done. So I hope you understood this program. Thanks for watching. Thank you.